So hello everybody and welcome again to eLaw Matters. Today we have a very important module, and that is what is the best legal way to start your business. Now remember, we're not giving you legal advice, but we are giving you legal information. And it's startling to know that there are many law firms and many lawyers out there that will charge you thousands of dollars to start your corporation, your LLC, and even a sole proprietorship. But let me tell you this, you can do this yourself. In California, as an example, you can simply go to the Secretary of State website, to the business portal, select the form you need, fill it out, and send it in with a check. Corporations probably $75, LLCs probably $100. However, before you fill out the forms, you need to know some things. Now, I had a client many years ago who was very confused, and they thought that they protected themselves by having a DBA. That just means you have a fictitious business name, and that just allows the city to collect money from you, to collect taxes. That doesn't protect your assets. In order to protect your personal assets, you have to have an LLC or a corporation. So what are the difference between a corporation and an LLC? Let's start with the LLC. An LLC is an incredibly informal vehicle to protect your personal assets. You don't have to have meetings. You don't have to sell shares of stocks. As a matter of fact, you can't sell shares of stocks. You may be able to sell interests in the LLC, but from a taxation perspective, the IRS would consider an LLC like an individual, so you might be taxed twice. You might be subjecting yourself to double taxation. So as between an S Corp and a C Corp, what's the best way to get started? An S Corp. Because an S Corp will allow you to avoid the double taxation issue. However, there are some pitfalls to an S Corp, and that is you can only sell up to 100 shares of stock, and you can't sell shares of stock to another company. Now a C Corp, or I guess a C Corp, is pretty much unlimited in terms of how many shares that you want to sell and if you want to sell to other companies. But the S Corp really is ideal for just starting out. You may not even know how successful your business is going to be, so why would you spend thousands of dollars to incorporate? You do have to pay a nominal fee every year just to keep your corporation intact. Now, let's say you want to set up a bank account. Before you go to the bank, you want to have an EIN number, which is your employer identification number. You can get that online by calling the IRS or doing it just like I said online. Once you get your EIN number, you can go to Wells Fargo or any bank, Bank of America, and you can set up your corporation. And then you'll also need your articles of incorporation that have already been stamped. So don't go to the bank with just the EIN. Make sure that your paperwork has been filed and stamped by the particular authority. In most cases in California, it's going to be the Secretary of State. A lot of people think that it's wise to file out of state, but if you're doing business in the state of California, even if you file in Nevada, you have to file here as a foreign corporation. So there's no way of getting away from taxation in California. It used to be many years ago you could file a corporation in Nevada and Wyoming and have a lot more secrecy for your corporation, but now California needs to put their hands in the pie, so to speak. So there's no real way, if you're doing business in the state of California, to avoid that taxation. So what's better for you, an LLC or S Corp or C Corp? Well, an LLC is easier to establish perhaps and easier to move about, but if you really want the best protection from a tax perspective, and also if you want to encourage investors to take you personally, I really recommend the S Corp. Now you can always transfer an S Corp to a C Corp later, but we're not going to talk about that today. So there you have it, LLC, S Corp, C Corp. Now let me tell you one more thing. If you can avoid it, do not enter into a partnership. In a partnership, you're responsible for everything your partner does and doesn't do. Quick story, I had a client many years ago who owned a taxi cab company, and he was away at a convention, a taxi owners convention, and his partner obligated him to a $5,000 a month Yellow Page advertising contract. Now, the two partners could have sued each other over this, But the yellow pages look to both partners to fulfill the contract. So it's very dangerous to have a partner. Again, you're responsible for everything the partner does and doesn't do. One more example, there was a partner running the same cab company, and he failed to pay for the liability insurance. One of the cab drivers hit a pedestrian, and the company went out of business because the partner who was supposed to take care of paying the insurance premiums didn't do so. So there you have it. That's how to legally operate your business. If you have any questions, please contact us at elawed.com. Remember, we don't give legal advice, but we do give lots of great information.